All right, we'll call the Destin Fire Control District Board of Fire Commissioners to order. We're at 848 Airport Road, Destin, Florida, May 14, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. This meeting is open to the public, and I want to welcome everybody here tonight. And at this time, the floor is open for public comment. No public comment? Seeing none, the floor is closed to public comment. Review of the minutes, regular meeting, April 9th, 2019.
Make a motion for the minutes, April 9th, 2019.
Second.
All right, got a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion, corrections, deletions? Short, so it should be. Yes. All right, take a vote, all in favor? Unanimous. All right, the review of the financial report, April 30, 2019. Catherine?
The report in front of you reflects a 7-month period through April 30th, 2019. Our cash position, we're still maintaining our cash position. Our current position is at $455,000, so I don't think we're going to need to take a draw on our invested funds until the end of this month. I do expect it at the end of May. Accounts receivable have come down dramatically since September 30th. We had our first large payment from the TDC. As far as the balance sheet goes, all liabilities and equity are in line. There's nothing abnormal there. Our next 5 pages are revenue over expenditures versus the budgeted items. We still have approximately $250,000 of ad valorem taxes to bring in. We have made our second invoice to the TDC. And as far as expenditures, our target percentage is 42% remaining. There will be some budget adjustments coming up later in this meeting that are going to take care of a couple of the items that we've been discussing over the last few months. So there's nothing abnormal during the month, really no large expenditures of any kind. So if there's any questions, I can address those.
So moved.
Second. We got a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Unanimous. All right, old business. West End Station, Chief?
Yes, sir. You might have seen it in the city council meeting, some different discussions taking place there. Our current situation really hasn't changed. We're still waiting for the Treasury to award. Once the Treasury awards, then we can move forward with it. So we're still in that same holding pattern, but I think we're much closer than we were. So.
Now, did you and Mike get together with anything?
Yes, sir. We've been working together. Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, we've been working.
All right, cool. All right, any other questions? All right, beat safety. Joe?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is what I get for getting this in a few days early. These things have all changed already. The junior lifeguard program is full. So it's 32 in the first session and 32 in the second session. So that's we're actually started a waiting list. The tower delivery is delayed. When I type this up, we weren't quite sure when. They're saying end of this week, so we will have those before Memorial Day.
Good.
Other than that, if you have any questions, you have the statistics sheet. Overall, for rescues compared to last year and the last few years, it has been fairly mild. Again, since I had typed this work, trying to work with some private properties to get some of these newer towers funded by the TDD in place. We went to Sandpiper Cove and the Dunes of Destin on Friday. On Saturday, we had 5 rescues behind there, and I still haven't heard from either one. Actually, I shouldn't say that. The Dunes of Destin has contacted us back, but Sandpiper still has not, and that rip current was right behind their property. So hopefully,
Open their eyes.
I hope so. I really hope so. And they are fully aware that it is completely funded by
That's
TDD.
1,100, I believe, 1,100 feet of beach that they have.
43
Oh,
acres
that
of
is a
property.
Tough spot right
Yeah.
there.
And it's a very tough spot, and that's where the erosion kind of starts there too, so without someone stationary there. So I'm hoping that they get back to us and they allow us to just set up there. So we'll see. But if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you.
So what, we got 64 of youth?
Well,
32 and 30.
some may be overlap, Tommy, because we're doing 2 sessions, so there might be I don't know, 50 some, because some might be in both sessions.
Oh.
So different youths,
So we're
but
not even
64
getting close to
positions.
Dana Point where, when we went out there that time, it's like, they got 1,400 kids
Yeah.
in there.
And that was years
Yeah,
ago.
junior
They might be up to
program.
2,000 now.
Wow, pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But I think the capitalize, or the kind of tag in on that is that the breaking up of the sessions, I think, is accomplishing what we were looking to do, which is being able to give the kids the opportunity where some might not be able to, we had the whole program for that period of time, now we've got the 2 sessions, where some might not have went for the whole session. I think we're getting some that are willing to go over part, because then they take their vacations on the other part. So, I think it's accomplishing what we were looking for. I think it's gonna start to come to its results, so that's good.
Because I think last year we were looking at numbers dropping.
Decreasing.
Yeah, decrease, so you find a way to get them back up, that's good. Good. Any other questions?
Anchor 9, traumatic injury, 500 Gulfport Drive at the Jetty East condos. Time out 1736.
And there was one.
All right. Training report, chief?
Yes, sir, you have it in front of you there. You'll see they accomplished 32 hours of training for the month. One of the interesting, just like last month where we showed the rope rescue ops, you'll see this month, which was in April, the rope tech, and then you'll also see in next month's report, which will be for which will be for May, and you'll see in June, where they did a confined space ops / techs class. So they're knocking out the 5 specialty courses to get themselves, to get the guys all the way up to technician level. And you're seeing that reflected in there because although not everyone in the department is taking the courses, we require, if you're on duty, whether you're in the class or not, you attend the class while the class is going on. And then when you get off the following day, you don't have to go to the class, those that are attending will. So when they're on duty, they go, everybody goes and attends. That's why you see the 10 hours for everybody, because each shift at some point participated. But we had 9, and then we'll see the numbers go up. A couple of people weren't able to attend the first class, but as these other classes go up, we have a larger registration. We're probably going to have up to 12 in these last few classes, so which is actually really good. Really good. So, good job of 32 hours is well above the 20 that we normally look for. So they did a good job.
And Boat 9, what did they do there?
I'll have to ask Tally Chief questions.
Boat 9, what we tried to do is get a little bit more boat operators checked off. So we took them out, made sure they needed a SIMRAD system, knew how to run the pump, knew how to use the flare and everything else. Basically trying to get a little bit more boat operators per shift.
Do we take them out at night doing that, by any chance?
I have not. I don't know if Jimmy does, but I have not.
It'd be a good idea to
I think we
put
have.
that on the.
I think we have, because
We have in the past, yes, sir.
part of the checkoff process, I believe, entails that, because there's a significant difference between daytime and nighttime
Oh,
operation. So you have to
Night and
live by,
day.
those- you have to live by those instruments.
Yeah,
Really big,
huge.
huge.
So yes, before they can get signed off, they have to be able to operate at night. So,
Okay.
yes, but as,
I just know
Thank
it's
you.
easy during the day, but at night it's harder. to-
yeah, and sometimes it's not
To get out
easy
there
during the day,
and train, but-
because if you're trying to use instruments, you can't because of the glare and stuff like that. Actually, you can
Yeah.
see your instruments a lot better, and the screen's a lot better at night than you can during the day. It's kind of hard to see them during the day. So there is, in both sessions, there's things that you need to adapt to make it work. But yeah, part of this was, we're trying to get our boat operators up. You know, we had a lot of them go through the 6-pack class, but to finish that out, they have to get signed off, have to have so many hours on the boat, operating the boat and that kind of thing. And that's kind of part of what the score is. We were getting some of it in, trying to get them up to speed so we can get more people signed off on the boat.
There's a lot of pilings out there that you can't see at night,
Yeah.
so you gotta know the area.
Yes, yeah.
And you're more focused at night. You look at the screen versus, right? You look at the screen versus your eyes.
There's a lot of them that aren't marked on this screen though.
Good deal.
As we know, we've had people run into them and kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, inspection report?
Paul Marshall Taylor isn't here. He had a family thing for his son that he had to attend. I think it was a little awards thing that he had to attend. So you do have it in front of you. You'll see total inspections 240 for the month of April. Feedback I'm getting really is that our fire inspector is doing a phenomenal job.
Mhm.
So, I'm really proud of him. He's doing a good
Yeah.
job.
Good deal. Overtime report?
Yes, sir, you'll see there is some in the month, a little bit more than others. We'll probably see something similar to this for a couple of months. There's different medical issues and things going on, but it's truly not real bad, comparatively speaking. We are down a few people, and we are trying to put some more people on. We're working through that process now, and during that time period, you'll probably see it about where it is now. So, but overall, really isn't too bad, although there are more than what we have seen in the past. It's not bad based upon what I noticed to be some of the staff and things that we're working on.
Because like you said, it's paramedics, right?
Mm.
The two I said.
Quite a bit of hazmat, yep, if you look through it, yep.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Then, new business, mid-year budget adjustment?
Yes, sir, Ms. Cat, as we do most years, around April or May, we'll make our mid-year budget adjustments because we try to do our best to make sure we're spot on. But there are things that come up that, so we'll end up moving things around in the budget. So I'll let Catherine pick that up.
There's a lot of little items being moved around and shifted around this year for certain needs or certain savings that we have. The first thing is there's a reduction in revenue. And typically, we don't touch the revenue section. If we come in short in revenue, then so be it. We come in short. We find ways to save. But this revenue specifically in relation to beach safety, and it's our major control since we get all of our beach safety funds from two other entities. So we are reducing $2,800 for the sale of the beach safety assets. We came in under what we hoped to there. So I'll move through this pretty quickly. I'm not going to hit on all of the items here. Insurance benefits have been reduced by approximately $93,000. The majority of this was due to the savings. 2/3 of it is due to the savings in which we had when we renewed the insurance on May 1st. And the remaining of it is savings that we had from the HRA fund, which is set up, which is not being utilized. So the plan design seems to be working as far as, employees not being exposed to that large deductible as we used to be with previous plans.
Good.
Flipping to the next page, page 22, duty overtime has been adjusted. Part of that is due to the hurricane, which was not expected. The FEMA grant has been approved. We're waiting for funds for that, but we'll have to increase that expense. And then, this year with staffing changes and schooling is driving the rest of the overtime. So there's an increase in that. Under professional services, other professional services being increased by $12,000. The majority of that is for the conceptual plan that is in the works as we speak for the potential new station. That is, since it's a conceptual, it's just an idea, it's actually not something that'll be capitalized when the building, when it actually begins. Going down, repair and maintenance at the bottom of the page, there's a couple small items. Computers, we're adding to computers because that $3,300 was actually in capital expenditures. So capital expenditures, computers is being reduced by $3,300. So it's really just a reclassification of those funds. And then equipment, repair and maintenance, $2,500. That's a new cost that we haven't seen in the past, and that was for the service of the JAWS equipment that we have. The 2 sets of JAWS equipment. Supplies, under equipment, that is a $5,000 increase. That's our small supplies that we have. And specifically, it's going to be SCBA masks, which we purchased. Under other, an increase of $25,000 for training and per diem. That is for this LTRT training courses that are happening right now. And as Chief mentioned earlier, we are having more participation than we thought, which is a great thing, so, increase in there. Capital outlay, you'll see negative numbers, it's for things that we didn't, have this year. Building improvements is being decreased. Bunker gear actually was not in here as a line item, and it needs to be for new employees. And then the vehicle, we all know that the vehicle was already approved for the additional cost of the $43,000, so I did use a round number there for that. Beach safety is self-contained, so all of the adjustments within that category offset itself, as well as that reduction in income. And then the final item, which is odd, which is the very last item on page 24, the very bottom of the page, is a reduction in the use of asset fund by $13,000. Normally, again, this is not a category that we normally adjust at all. We normally don't take from there, we normally don't put into it. We're actually putting money back into that fund. We're saying we're not gonna use $13,000. And what this is, again, it has to do with beach safety. We had expected a larger rollover from fiscal year to fiscal year. So when we ended September 30th, we thought we were gonna have a larger rollover into this current year, and that didn't happen. So I have to adjust that so we don't spend too much for beach safety. So, income, expenses, adjustments, they all offset each other. We're not looking to pull from reserves or anywhere. We're making it work within the budget in which we have. So if there's any questions.
Nice and clean.
I have no. Very good job, thank you.
We need to make a motion to approve that. So moved.
Second.
I got a motion to approve the mid-year budget adjustments in a second. Any further discussion? Let's vote, all in favor? Unanimous. I would like to make a note that Commissioner Wilson is absent, and that is excused. So. All right, anything else in front of the board?
Fire truck. We ordered, how's that coming along?
It's working through the process. You know, I kind of hope.
The tariffs affected even more than?
We haven't got that from them, but our price is what our price is. We've signed an agreement for it, so they can't adjust that, even regardless of what happens. But I don't think we're gonna be able to get it as soon as we kind of hope. I think we're probably looking at more like the June, July timeframe, so. And that's okay. I'd rather them take a little bit longer and get it right, and then try to rush it and get it out of here, get it to us and have the issue. So probably looking at June, July is what I would anticipate. Well, I think it's coming along fine. I haven't seen any of the pictures on the website yet like they do sometimes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those yet.
Let us know when you see them.
I will. I'll share that link with the group so that way everybody can kind of go and look and see the progress as it's making. But this one, again, because of what we're getting, it's going to come from Appleton as compared to being built in Bradenton, right?
That's okay. Cool.
So, well, good question, yes, sir. Thank you for asking.
Anything else? Seeing none, the next meeting is regular meeting scheduled for June 11, 2019, and includes the budget workshop. That'll be our first budget workshop.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Ms. Catherine and I are, well, she's diligently working on it, and I'm giving her all kinds of ideas. Which she probably doesn't like a lot, but, yeah, she's diligently working on it.
Okay. So, see everybody in June. This meeting is adjourned.